All right, so I mentioned this poem in, I'm pretty sure it's lecture 8, and probably this should have gone with lecture 8, but um, for some reason I programmed it for lecture 9. Okay, it's a great poem. This is the Joan McMahon, I think it is. Jeez. I shouldn't. Maryland. Oh my goodness. How did I get that wrong? Okay. God. It's terrible. Okay. Another nurse. And if you're interested, there is a book of poetry by women. I'm going to say they're all Vietnam veterans. I think it may be a book of writings about Vietnam by women, some of whom are Vietnam veterans, some of whom basically survived in the States and write about it. I'll look it up for you. Okay, so this one, Knowing, begins with this little article or this little piece of this little clip so that you're in the, we as the audience know what the context is about dioxin, right? Recent research indicates dioxin is the most potent toxin ever studied. News report, September 1987. So by now you'll remember and know it'll be impossible to have escaped that dioxin is at the center of Agent Orange, which is so very damaging. So here is this nurse who is observing. I watched the helicopters flying slowly north and south along the Da Nang River Valley, trailing a gray mist which scattered the sun in murky rainbows. I never wondered if I knew all I ought to know about what they were doing. I knew it was called defoliation, that the spray would destroy the hiding places of snipers and ambushing guerrillas. I did not know to ask, at what price? Every evening, the sunset choppers arrive, filled with soldiers burning from jungle fevers, malaria, dengue, dysentery. We took them directly to the cooling showers, stripped their wet, dirt-encrusted uniforms as we lowered their temperatures, and prepared them for bed. I did not ask them where they had been, whether they or the uniforms I held had been caught in the mist, whether defoliation had saved their lives. I did not know to ask. I knew part of the price when 9 other women who had watched the helicopters and seen the mist talked to their children. Jason's heart defects, and Amy's, and Rachel's, and Timothy's. Mary's eye problems. The multiple operations to make and repair digestive organs for John and Kathleen and little John. How lucky they felt when one child was born healthy, whole. How they grieved about the miscarriages, 1, 2, 3, even 7. Their pain, their helplessness, their rage when Marianne died of leukemia at 2, and Michelle died of cancer at 2.5. Their fear of what might yet happen. I knew more when I watched my parents celebrate their 40th wedding anniversary. 4 children, 3 grandchildren sitting in the pews. I knew what I would never know, what the poisons and my fears have removed forever from my knowing. The conceiving, the carrying of a child, the stretching of my womb, my breasts, the pain of labor, the bringing forth from my body a new life. I choose not to know if my eggs are misshapen and withered as the trees along the river, if snipers are hidden in the coils of my DNA. Oh, and I've frozen. That's great. Okay, so a little technological, typical mishap there. This is, again, a fairly self-explanatory text once you know the background, what you now know. You're now literate about this stuff, and so you know much more, what the stakes are for this nurse. And what's useful about the poem is the litany of sort of just, what happens when people do try. The thing about these Agent Orange after effects or side effects is that you can't know whether you've been badly exposed, whether you just can't know. You got to essentially take the chance, get pregnant, and then see what happens. And one of the issues that is, I guess, should be clear is that if you go to war, one of the things that may make sense, if nothing else makes sense to you, as a civilian, is having a child, which is a bit of a mind blower to me, frankly. But I'm not a veteran, so I don't know about it. Okay.